All right. Welcome everyone to Up and Moving for Thursday, June 15th, I believe. As a cue for anyone joining us live or watching this recording later, for this set of exercises, you will need a chair. And if you have them available, some light 2-pound weights or something like a soup can. So if you are joining us later and would like to grab those, feel free to hit pause. And if not, we have a beautiful cat joining us for the warm up. So say hello to them. And with that, we will get started. So we will begin today with a nice warm up. We're going to do some just arm circles here for a moment. Go ahead and do those. I'm going to set a timer up for myself. All right. Feel free to march in place lightly when we're doing this as well. Take some steps. Again, we're going to do about 8 minutes of warm up, and then we'll get into a little bit more exciting, fun stuff as well. As we're doing this, to break up the monotony a little, if you want to switch rotation directions, feel free. If you're really adventurous, you can try to do counter rotations. And if you're the most advanced expert, you can do one way and one the other way. But don't feel necessary to do that one. All right. The next thing we're going to do is to get a little bit of a lower body warm up going. So you can go ahead and relax your leg or arms, shake them out for a minute. But we're going to do some marches where we're going to just do some higher knee lifts here. Again, this is just the warm up, but if you want to give yourself a little bit more blood flowing, you can do it a little faster. If you have space, feel free to move around within that a little bit. No need to stay stationary. Again, faster or slower. This is just a nice warm up now for this point. No need to go too hard out of the gate, but we want to get the blood flowing so when we get to the actual workout, we're feeling good. And we will actually go through the whole warm up twice. So you'll get a chance the next time through to up the ante a little bit if you want to. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, if you want to bring it back in, we're going to do standing lateral tilts. So arm over the head to one side, arm back to the other. When you're doing this, one of the things I want you to think about is core activation and core stability. So you want to think about flexing your abs and pulling your belly button to your spine. So again, some of the exercises we're going to be doing moving forward, we want to work on that core stabilization. And this is a moment just to start to think about that and feel the cues from your body. So activating that core and those abs, belly button to spine as we stretch. Really feel that along your side and in your back. All right, and now we're going to do standing hip rotations. So knee up and then out to 90 and back, and you'll just alternate sides. Up, out, and back. Just kind of getting those hip flexors and hip abductors. Again, while you're doing this, think about activating your core, keeping that whole core engaged. Sometimes, yeah, it helps. I place my hands there sometimes, and it's a nice kind of tactile cue to your brain, making sure that it's engaged. Right, in about 10 more seconds, and we're going to take a light moving rest, and then we'll go through this one more time before the workout. All right, so go ahead. If you want to shake everything out, kind of shake your arms and legs out, feel free to move around the space here for about a minute. If you want to stand, some light arm swings. This is just kind of light, relaxed movement here for this bout. You can just do some impromptu movements, stretching, whatever feels like your body needs here in the rest. In about 10 seconds, we'll go through this warm-up circuit one more time, and then we'll get going with the harder stuff. So a few more minutes of warm-up here. So we're going to start with those arm circles again. I started forward last time, so now I'm going to do back. Again, feel free to move when you're doing these if you have the space. If you get partway through, try changing the rotation direction. Create a little more space for myself here. And again, if you want to challenge yourself, kind of counter rotating like you're swimming. And if you want to make it really hard for the last 10 seconds, one way and one the other way. That one's a little neuromuscular challenge, a coordination challenge for you there. All right, we're going to move into the march again, knees high. Faster for a little more energetic warm up. If you want, you can go a little slow. Feel free to move around the room again if you want. If you have the space, no need to stay stationary. Give yourself a little bit of variation. Nice job. Yep, and really just focus on knees high and adjust the intensity with the pace of your stepping. Nice job, guys. We're getting close here. All right, we're going to flip again to change to those lateral tilts again one time. And now we're going to really start to think about that core engagement again. So as we're doing these, think about keeping your body or your back along a nice plane and then activating that core, belly button to spine. You want to put your hand of your non-tilt on your stomach to kind of feel those muscles engage and give yourself some feedback. Help your brain tie that loop back together. I know I need these today personally for my back, so these feel extra good. About 15 seconds left here. All right, and then we're going to go back into our last warm up before we get in, and we're going to do those standing hip rotations again. So knee up and out. Again, quicker or slower. Think about activating that core throughout, keeping everything stable. This is a good balance exercise also. And this will be good. The first block of our exercise we're going to hop into shortly is going to focus a lot on the lower body. So this is a good precursor to that. So we got about 10 seconds left, and then we'll let you do an active recovery for a minute, and then we'll hop into the meat and potatoes for today. All right, so with that, you guys have a minute here. Let's take a minute, just a nice active recovery. Walk around lightly if you want. Feel free to shake everything out. Do some impromptu stretching and movement if your body calls for it. About 30 seconds left of rest here. Then we're going to hop into the exercises. Really enjoy that. We'll hopefully get a sweat going here now, starting soon. We'll have fun today. 5 seconds left. So the first exercise we're going to be doing today is a side lunge. So what you'll alternate legs, but to start, we'll take our right leg out to the side and then left leg down. Back together, left leg out, down. And what you can do with these for intensity is vary the depth that you're going with each lunge. So a little bit lighter. You don't need to go as deep with the knee bend. If you want to make it harder, you can go really deep. And then also the frequency. So the faster you step is going to make it a little bit harder. And slower if you need to ease up a little bit. We're about halfway through. Nice job. About 5 more seconds, squeeze 1 or 2 more in. And the next thing we're going to do is a not jumping jack. So feet shoulder width apart. And then as you would do a jumping jack, but we're not actually going to leave the ground. So squat with the hands up, back to standing position. Again, varying intensity here. You can go really deep, kind of almost a body weight squat to add some intensity. And if you need a break after 30 seconds or 45 seconds, you can just slight knee bend to make it a little bit easier. I really like these because you get a lot of the benefits of the jumping jack, but not the wear and tear on your knees. And you can really vary that intensity with the frequency and the depth. You can really tailor it to how you're feeling for the day. All right, now if you have your weights present, we're going to swap to a standing arm raise. So go ahead and grab those. You'll have to imagine I have them for today. So imagine I have weights in my hand, but we're going to go again, shoulder or feet shoulder width apart, forward and down, and then laterally outward and up. So forward, out to the side, forward, out to the side. Make sure you have a slight bend in your knees when you're doing this. Again, pace is really the intensity regulator for this one. So if you want a little more burn in those shoulders, you can go a little quicker. Nice and slow if you're going easy. About 10 seconds of these left, and then you can just set them to the side. We'll use them again here in a few exercises, but for now, we're pretty close to done. So if you want to set those aside now, what we're going to do is calf raises. So standing in place, again, feet shoulder width and just up on your toes and down. Up on your toes and down. If you have a stair available, that's a great spot to do those. But flat ground works also. While you're doing this, I want you to think about your core engagement still too. You need to put your hands there and feel it, but just really think about keeping your whole core, back and abs tight and engaged, belly button to your spine. I'm losing my timer. All right, about 10 more seconds, and then we'll do a nice break here, an active recovery, and then we're going to come back and do a second set of calf raises. So go ahead and stop. Take a minute here, active recovery, shake everything out. Feel free to move around your space if you have it. Stretches your body calls for. This is just a nice active time to keep some light movement. Get yourself reinvigorated for some more calf raises. Let's give it about another 30 seconds of recovery here. And then we'll hop into some more calf raises. This is going to be kind of the lower body burn section. All right, so when you're ready, go ahead and get back into position. We'll do another 30 seconds of calf raises. Again, while you're doing these, core engaged. We can take advantage of a lot of these exercises to really give ourselves cues and bring a little bit of more whole body approach. Again, faster, if you want a little bit more intensity, slower pace to make it more easy. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is kind of a back lunge to a knee drive. So we're going to stand, you're going to step back with your right foot. You can go down deep if you want, and then on the up, drive your knee forward. And go ahead and alternate sides once you've coordinated that. And give yourself more room if you have it. So you can step really far back, knee up. And again, depth helps change intensity. So if you want a little more active, deeper, a little less depth, if you're feeling it today. Nice job. You can really think, if you want to add a little bit too, you can really explode into that knee drive off your forward foot. If you want to give a little bit more oomph and intensity, bring the pace up a little bit. All right, about 10 more seconds here. And then we're going to hop into, all right, so the next one, these are my favorite, a little bit the Heisman, but what we're going to do is crossover steps 2 ways, 1 way, and then arm out. Imagine you're blocking football, someone's trying to tackle you, you're pushing them away. Hopefully you've seen the Heisman Trophy at some point in your life. These are fun for me because you can do them quicker if you want. Slower, but you can really vary the pace. And I really like to pretend I'm a Michigan transplant, but you can put a little Barry Sanders in there if you want. Everyone's got a hometown hero. Timers. All right, about 10 more seconds of those, and then we'll give you another active break here. All right, go ahead and take an active break here. Walk around your space, shake everything out. Grab a drink if you have one. Coming out of this break, we're going to use the chair and your weights. So if you kind of want to take this active recovery to get those in position, again, your chair and your weights, we'll use that for our next exercise. Feel free to get those organized for the moment. Here's my chair. And what we're going to do here, just to get you started, So we'll do a nice sit to stand. So if you start in the chair with the weights in your hand, and we're just going to stand up to a vertical press and then back down, up, vertical press and down. And you can vary the intensity here with both the pace. And then if you don't want to put all your weight back down into the chair, you can just kind of use it as a spot to stop. So a cue for the depth. But if you don't put all your weight down and kind of come to rest, it definitely makes these a little bit harder here. So if you want some ease, you can go ahead and take a seat all the way into the chair and pause for a moment. If you want to make them harder, just touch and up just for that brief pause. All right, about 5 more seconds. And then if you want to set both of these to the side, we're going to revisit this exercise one more time in a little bit. So if you want to just get them out of your space, go ahead and do that now, but we'll come back to that. So our next one is going to be our non-jumping jack variation 2. So again, starting feet shoulder width apart, but this time we're going to step out to one side when we do our arm wave and then alternate. Awesome. So again, another variation. If you want to add a little bit of challenge, you can kind of almost put a side lunge in that, like we were doing earlier. Add some depth. If you want to challenge yourself, if you need an active recovery, you can just nice kind of easier. Do about 20 more seconds. All right, now what we're going to do, this is kind of going to be a little bit of an easier one, and then we'll cycle back and revisit a few of these, but one leg out in front and then just scoop down, kind of a nice hamstring stretch. Think of scooping water. And we'll start with our right leg and we'll do 10 on the right. So we're at 3, 4, 5, 9, 10. And then if you want to switch your legs, so shake it out for a brief second and then left leg forward. And then we're going to do the same thing, 10 with the left leg. Nice job. 6, 7. All right, so we're going to revisit 3 exercises here. This is your chance. If you're feeling like you have energy, go high intensity for these last 3. We're going to start with those side lunges again, so alternating sides. So right, left, right, left, right. Nice job. Nice and deep if you're feeling good. We'll do about 25 more seconds here. Think about that core engagement still. We always want to have that in the back of our mind during this. About 10 more seconds. And we're going to go back into those Heismans. So Heisman side step. Again, we're getting close to the end here. So if you have a lot of energy, you can really pick up the pace. You can lift your knees a little bit higher in the middle to add a little bit more intensity. Pick up the speed of the footwork if you need it. Either one of those are great options. Again, imagine you're Barry Sanders returning to kickoff. I know he never won a Super Bowl. I don't think he did, but we can pretend in an alternate universe he had. This is the winning run back. About 10 more seconds here, and then we're going to grab the chair and the weights again. All right, so if you want to go ahead and grab your weights one more time, we're going to do those sit to stands. So again, from the chair, weights at your side, up, press, back down. Again, if you want to make these harder, just go just till your rear touches the chair, but don't transfer your full weight there. Just touch, nice job. Do about 30 more seconds of this. Again, you can go faster if you want a little more intensity, or think about really exploding up from the bottom if you want to. Nice job. All right, you can go ahead and set those to the side. We'll do about a 30-second kind of active free form recovery here. And then we'll hop into just some nice cool down a little bit. So again, free form, stretch as your body calls for if you want to. All right, we're going to go ahead and hop into some nice kind of slow paced swan dives. So you start with your hand out into a dive and just fold forward, nice and slow. And then arms back out to the side as you come up and then back down. You can really focus on kind of getting a nice stretch in your hamstrings and your posterior chain as you do this. Feel it in there as you fold over and back up. Nice job. We'll do a couple more here. All right, I'm going to go into just a nice kind of standing march and then also those lateral hip pivots. So you can kind of mix it up, just a nice walking in place with that. Put a few pivots in intermittently. Maybe 2 steps in a pivot. Nice and easy with these. We're kind of just trying to cool down here now. Again, if you have the space and you want to kind of walk around in there, that's awesome. About 20 seconds here. We're going to transfer back to those lateral tilts. It's really helping myself today. Let's go ahead and back to those lateral tilts. Again, think about the core activating during this, abs, spine, belly button to back, and just nice and slow. If you want to, when you're at one side, you can kind of roll forward and back up just to give it a little bit of variation over to the side, forward and back up. Think about that core engagement still, even though we're cooling down, you want to give your body those cues. So over time that becomes normal. All right, so next, as we cool down here a little more, this one's just nice, relaxed. So I want you to cross your arms in front of you and then just a nice forward fold and let your arms hang in that spot. Then try to relax your neck and your arms, and you can kind of just a light swing back and forth with all of that. Try to just let your upper back muscles, neck, shoulders just kind of relax and let that nice, easy swinging. And if you want to come back up, eyes to the ceiling and then back into the forward fold. Uncross your arms and let your hands hang down towards your feet. Now a little bit of rotation in there, try to loosen everything up. And then we'll close it out here. The last exercise, we'll just do some light arm swings with side to side stepping. Just kind of get the whole body lightly moving one last time. Go for about another minute here. This is our last movement for the day. So we'll just kind of nice, gentle, get the blood flowing everywhere. If you have the space, walk around. Awesome. And with that, thank you all for joining today. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording, but hope you enjoyed it, and we will be back next week.